Welcome back. I thought it'd be cool to create a preset vocal chain for Solaria since her voice is recorded raw with no EQ, compression, nothing, and sounds like it. But the good thing is, of course, it's consistent, and with consistence makes it easy to make a setting, or at least a starting point setting, that you can just drop on it and you've got sort of instant professional sounding vocals. Okay, for this demo, I'm using the new Vocalchain plugin from Cubase, aptly named Vocalchain, and I took a Synth audio to MIDI extract of Kelly Clarkson's song Me. We'll start with the raw Solaria output straight from Synthesizer V, and then it'll play straight into the Vocalchain processed version.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody who feels weak standing next to me. I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody who feels weak standing next to me.
Okay, well, the biggest difference, of course, is the dynamics, and you can see them, right? I mean, the ending note here is huge, and the quiet bits in the beginning are very quiet. In fact, I had to make an edit here and bring this one up a little bit, because otherwise it was almost too dynamic. And normally I'd be cutting this up and adjusting the levels down in that pre-processing, but the idea here is I just want a preset I can slap on a raw export and have a kind of finished vocal sound while I'm working. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start with adding a vocal chain here. What's nice is you've got the overview where you've got access to pretty much all the main controls of each of the modules. You can look at the clean section and just have those available to you, or the character. So it's very quick to work in, which is pretty cool. Right, so let's start with a cut filter. Put this up to 100 Hertz without thinking about it. Leave the high cut for now. I'll put that on after I've messed around with the EQs. Let's mute the backgrounds and just select this opening area here. And we can see where the lowest fundamental of her voice is.
Don't need somebody to scold me.
Okay, so it's around 200 as suspected, so you could go even a little higher. But to be honest, there's nothing down there. Don't think we need a gate, or I'm not going to mess with the pitch for now, and we'll start with a de-esser. I'm going to open that up, and we'll just watch where the S's are popping in this zone here.
I don't need somebody to scold me.
So it seems to be centered around 9K. So I can bring that down 5K to 13K. Let's call it 15K. I'll leave the reduction at 4 for now. I want to check the threshold though, because when it's auto, there's a chance that the vocals will be actually being reduced in level as well in that region. So let's have a listen with the difference button here. Yeah, I definitely heard the body and some other bits in there. So I'm going to take that off because this first de-esser is the cleanup one, and I'm not trying to get a finished result here. I'm just trying to reduce the power of the S's before they go into the compressor and the EQ. So let us I'll drop this level, start at 32, and I'll drop it down till we don't hear her actual singing anymore. Okay, you know what? We're on the cusp there. I'm going to go minus 29. Take it off difference, and I'm going to put the reduction up full so we can actually hear how much it can fully compress it based on that level.
I don't need somebody to scold me. I don't need somebody to scold me.
So you know what? 4 is going to be fine. Let's go with that. Dynamic filter next. So these are exactly what you would expect them to be. They're like dynamic EQs. And there are only 2, but they are for kind of the worst of the worst, really. And I know where they are. They're down here. Actually, I'll just double click that. There we go. So let's have a listen before I do anything here.
Feels weak.
Okay, so that weak here is going to get compressed a lot, but there's still, when you look at the waveforms coming out of it, they're very spiky. You know, basically it's like they look like fingers, and those are the resonance peaks, and they are nice and clean and very tall, which means that they are a little bit too shrill. Just have a look now that I've mentioned that.
Feels weak.
So I've landed this right in the middle of all that. And I'm going to put it down to -12. And I'm going to adjust it so that we're probably getting between, I don't know, -6 and -9 reduction on those, because they are pretty steep.
Feels weak. Feels weak. Feels weak.
Okay. You know, it's not fixed it completely, but I don't think we have to, because we are going to be putting quite a lot of compression on after this. The second one I'm going to use on the final bit here, because this, I think, is the loudest of them all, and it's at a different frequency.
Standing next to me.
Yeah, it's over here.
Standing next to me.
Okay, so that's 954. And that one can have a little bit more narrow Q. Let's call it 2.3. And I'll adjust the threshold. Same idea. I'll bring this one down to -12. So I'm going to do -6 or 9 level reduction on that. Let's just make it shorter. Okay, so that's taking the worst of it off there. What is that? -20. Next, compression. So 4 compressors in here. The new Vox comp's a lot like the Waves R Vox. It's like a one knob sort of effect, and it's doing a lot more than it appears to be, and does a pretty good job. I noticed this one tends to, I think it's like a multi-band actually, because it brings the bass up, which is kind of unusual. Transparent, I guess, is same idea without that, so it's probably a wide band. Extreme is just a high ratio. And then Black Valve is very much like the Vox comp, but it's thinner sounding. And that, again, is because I think it's the HG2 triode and pentode saturation effect. Basically, they're adding tubes to the Vox comp, is what it sounds like.
Standing next to me. Standing next to me. Standing next to me. Standing next to me.
Okay, so we'll go with 40% on that, and that's the Black Valve. Now go back to Vox comp.
Standing next to me. Standing next to me. Standing next to me.
That's pretty good. I'm going to go with the Black Valve. I'll leave the output at 0 because we're working on the other bit as well, right? So we want to hear that properly. Next up, EQ. So let's just play this first bit and try and figure out what we want to attack here.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me.
I'm actually going to pump the high end. Let's start with that.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me.
Okay. And because I've done that, I feel like there's something in here that I need to pull down. So I'll sharpen that Q a bit. Have that standing by. Okay, let's go.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody who feels weak.
Yeah, so we're back to this feels weak part here. Let's try that.
Feels weak. Feels weak.
Okay, that's what we wanted. So I've got a big high end boost here, but then we got a cut here. And what's the Q? Q, I don't know, 2.5-ish. That's fine. And what about lower down?
I don't need somebody to scold me. I don't need somebody.
Okay, there's the usual kind of boxy sound. Could be a lot of different things. Doesn't matter. It's there. So let's go for it. I'm going to sharpen that Q again. Just have a little sweepy here.
I don't need somebody to scold me. I don't need somebody to scold me.
Well,
I don't need somebody to scold me.
seems to be right around the fundamentals. No surprise there. Kind of almost in between, is it?
I don't need somebody to scold me.
No, that's just right on. Next, the exciter. This is an interesting one. I looked it up. I tried to figure out exactly what it's doing. It's basically a drive up the clarity and decide how much you want. I always start with the most to try and figure out what it's actually doing. So let's do that.
I don't need somebody to scold me. 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 I don't need somebody to scold me.
Actually sounds quite nice. I don't know. It's definitely some sort of harmonic thing. Definitely improving the clarity and a bit of the breath. Who's going to argue with that? Let's keep it. Next up, saturator. Now this is something on this vocal I wouldn't be bothering with except for this range here with the resonances. They're still kind of peaky. Let's just mute that for the moment.
Feels weak.
So on that feels, did you see how long the resonant spikes are? It's crazy. So I'm thinking, turn the filter bank on, and I'm going to solo it, and let's go find those, the worst part of this, and I'll leave the drive down.
Feels weak. 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 Feels weak.
Trying not to get in the sibilants there because obviously the saturator is going to get really gnarly. So
Feels weak. Feels weak.
okay, so that's good. Take it off solo. Tape, tube, or distortion. I'll stick with tape. Leave the output at 0. Mix at 50. Yeah, I'm just going to drive this up a little bit till I hear some of those spikes being intermodulated, as it were, and just basically putting a little fuzz on them.
Feels weak. Feels weak. Feels weak. Feels weak. Feels weak. Feels weak. Feels weak.
Actually wants quite a bit, doesn't it? Compressor 2. And I'm going to use the Vox Comp this time because it actually does add a little bit of bass and the voice sounds a little thinner than what we started with. So let's just, drive the compression up. I'll leave it on 100% for the moment and see how we go. And I'm going to use both of these phrases actually. Again, the most annoying ones, but the loudest ones and the most obvious. We want to hear a great effect. What we don't want to hear is the compression kicking in, right?
Feels weak. Standing next to me. Feels weak. Standing next to me.
Okay, so that last bit, I should have tried that with the saturator. Let's go back to 50% here and take this down. Here we go. Let's try it.
Feels weak. Standing next to me.
Okay. New settings. 50% on the mix and 6 on the drive, but the range is good. Okay, back to the compressor. And I'm going to bring this level down a bit.
Feels weak. Standing next to me. Feels weak. Standing next to me.
I'm going to try blending it in a bit because it's always worth a go.
Feels weak. Standing next to me. Feels weak. Standing next to me. Feels weak. Standing next to me. feels weak. Standing next to me feels weak.
Let's call it 75 and see what this is like with and without.
Feels weak. Standing next to me feels weak. Standing next to me.
Okay. Another dynamic filter. This one's more of a just a taming the top end sort of thing. Let's have a listen and see if this is something we need. Oh, that's that fooled me. The white line here is actually still showing me the previous dynamic filter as well, right? So the new one, this one here, isn't reacting yet. So let's just see if we can get that happening.
Feels weak. Standing next to me.
Right, so you can see it's basically a big, let's turn this one off. Make that 6.
Standing next to me.
Okay. EQ 2. Not sure if we need it. Let's just, how do we think?
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody.
Okay, I'm thinking I want a bit more of this upper mid here. And possibly even some more high end.
Somebody I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody I don't.
I quite like that. It's getting very toppy, but we've got another de-esser stage to come. So let's do that. In fact, I'm going to use the same range, 5K to 15K as the previous one. A difference on. Okay, let's just see what that's like.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody I don't need somebody to.
I'm going to put the release a little quicker, say 50. We don't want it to linger, we just want it to take out the peaks of the S's.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts.
I'm only using one reduction setting of 1, but have a look at how much it's taking out. They're not kind of relative, really.
I don't need somebody to scold me.
It's taking 9.5 dB out. So let's just do this. 0.6.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me.
Okay. Put the music back on. And I'm going to use the mix monolith just to set the levels.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody who feels.
Okay. Let's A/B what I've just created compared to what I previously created.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody who feels weak. Standing next to me.
Not bad. I actually have done most of the same moves on Fab Filter, a stack of Fab filters. Let's just enable that track. Look at that. And I don't have the clarity. There's nothing I could find that sort of simulated that or was equal to that. And, you know, this is a lot of plugins. That's not even all of them. I don't want to crash my computer with the screen recording going on. And of course, you go to the Vocalchain, and on overview, I got control of all the levels of each thing. Can literally just tweak that while it's running. A lot easier than having 20 plugins open, that's for sure. Let's hear the difference, though.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody who feels weak. Standing next to me.
They're not a million miles apart. This one's a little warmer, the FabFilter one. But, that's, again, to do with me basically guessing settings because their Q factors are not the same, et cetera, et cetera. So it was just a quick kind of emulation of what I did with the Vocalchain. But, I could save this as a preset and load that up just as I would Vocalchain. So once you've done the work, it's no less convenient or more convenient. But for tweaking, definitely the Vocalchain kicks bottom because you can just work on, okay, say it's the character section I need to work on. I've got pretty much access to everything I need right here. And yeah, there's a lot to be said for that.
I can't believe you said, I can't believe you said, I'm free to move on. I'm free to move on. Oh baby, baby, how was I supposed to know? Oh baby, baby, how was I supposed to know?
Okay, I'll play out on this, and I will put a link below for this preset. It's a good starting point. Till the next time, see you soon.
I don't need somebody to scold me. Don't need somebody that hurts me. Don't need somebody who feels weak. Standing next to me.